All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So just getting done jump starting a car. I looked down at my phone and there is so much news coming out. There's like a flurry of information. So first things first, the Jets claimed a linebacker, Mark Robinson, off of the Patriots practice squad. And my first reaction to it was sweet, right? We're adding a player to a position of need. Linebacker right outside of the top two. You're thinking, okay, we could probably add one more guy there. It's a pretty thin spot. Also, Robinson has been a decent contributor on special teams. He's getting in the game. He's making an impact for that Patriots special teams unit, appearing in 17 games last season, 17 games the season before that. And so, again, it's like, okay, awesome. We're adding to the room. I scroll down a little further, and I see that Quincy Williams is not only just dealing with a shoulder injury, but he could potentially be missing an extended period of time. Now, Quincy obviously is my favorite player on this defense. I think he is the leader of this defense. He's definitely the heartbeat of the defense. I love how he's always playing at 100%. And losing Quincy, with Quincy, this defense has been god-awful. So without him, it does make me nervous on how this defense is going to fare moving forward. God, sucks, right? It's a tough blow, especially this early on in the season. Now, I think it was the NFL Network that reported this, and they did say that it's not a season-ending injury, but he's going to be missing like some time here. It's not just this. He's going to be back next week, or give him 3-4 days. No, it's a pretty big deal. Great, right? Obviously, this sucks. I continue to scroll down. I see that the Houston Texans are releasing safety CJ Gardner-Johnson. And instantly, I started to think about the possibility. Does it make sense if the Jets go out and pursue it? Well, right off the bat, CJ Gardner-Johnson, if we think back, is an Aaron Glenn guy. He's an Aaron Glenn guy. Aaron Glenn was the DB coach in New Orleans when he was drafted, 4th-round pick coming out of UF. I loved him back in college. Aaron Glenn was the guy who developed him in his first couple years in New Orleans. You think back just a couple of years ago, when Glenn was in Detroit, what was one of their big defensive acquisitions? Signing CJ Gardner-Johnson. So there's obviously a tie there. There's obviously a player-to-coach relationship that Aaron Glenn likes. And if we're looking at the Jets safety unit, CJ Gardner-Johnson, I don't even care what he's done this, through 3 games this season. He is by far an upgrade in the back end of this defense. The number one issue with this football team right now, when I'm looking at how this team has performed on the field, has not been the quarterback. It has not been the play calling from Tanner Engstrand. It has not been clock management. It has not been offensive line. It has not been getting after the passer. It has been coverage in the secondary. Safety play, corner play, coverage overall, right? Missed tackles, major issues. CJ Gardner-Johnson comes in and would immediately be the best safety on the team. He would have that, again, relationship with Coach Glenn. Glenn was a big part of his development, in the first place. I really do feel like it makes sense. Now, of course, I mean, by the way, take a look back at last season. What did he have? 6 picks for the Eagles defense? The guy was all over the place. He could play strong safety down in the box. He could play free safety. You can move him around. He's a versatile player. He's a good player. You kind of feel like when his head is in it, he's a really impactful player. But the question is, when there's maybe a distraction or things aren't going well, he tends to get on teammate. So for example, we look at this situation, right, with the Houston Texans. Obviously, he was brought in to be one of the big time pieces on this D'Amico Ryans defense, and it hasn't really worked out. His play hasn't been half bad. He's actually performed, I would say, tad bit above average, but there's been some locker room questions, how he's treated the other members of the secondary. There's been some system fit question marks. But is the defense getting any? I don't know. All I'll say is that if the Jets go out and sign CJ Gardner-Johnson, not only do I think it makes sense, not only do I think it will benefit this defense in a big way, but man, that could be the catalyst, especially with Quincy Williams leaving now, or, I'm going to assume he's going to be missing an extended period of time. As far as to speculate, okay, how many weeks, that's, obviously completely up in the air. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, I don't know. But we need a catalyst here. We need I would say a change. And I think adding a very good player, a veteran player, to the biggest problem of this team, biggest problem of this defense, at a humongous position of need. You want to play Cisco at free safety? Cool. You take Gardner-Johnson and you play him at strong safety, replacing Tony Adams, Malachi Moore. That is a humongous boost. It's a humongous boost. Throw on top of it, he fits the system. I think it makes sense. The Jets also have cap space, right? This is a big deal here, because one of the benefits of not going all in free agency is so you have flexibility around the trade deadline. You have flexibility, in the season if something pops up, something random like this. I'm making it happen, honestly, if I'm Darren Muji. We're 0-3. The defense isn't getting worse. If you add CJ Gardner-Johnson, the defense cannot get worse. I'll say that. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And also, too, man, Gardner-Johnson has rubbed people the wrong way before in the past. By the way, I'm so hot. It's blazing down here in Florida. So apologies if I'm like soaked in sweat here. It's gross. But Gardner-Johnson in the past has rubbed people the wrong way for like on the field, like yelling and kind of just being not necessarily like a hothead, but just like you can tell this guy really cares. And I don't know, is that something that the Jets need? Is it something that's maybe viewed as a bad thing for another team? But with the Jets, it's like I'm kind of searching for someone to bring some energy, bring some life, bring some passion to the field. Someone who's not going to put up for, with any BS, right? Blown coverages and missed tackles, stuff like that. Like, if he's going to get on players, maybe that could be a coach on the field, somewhat of an extension of Aaron Glenn. So, look, I understand that Aaron Glenn wants to play, roll out younger players here. I totally get it. But Darren Muji went out and acquired Harrison Phillips. Didn't have to do that, but he did. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much. And as always, go Jets.